And hi guys, welcome back to the Ratchet Christian. We're continuing on in our series about dating and love and relationships. And so we're just having a brown table talk. This is my friend Miata, and this is my new friend Desi.
Hey.
And we're just gonna get into it and just discuss everything that there is to discuss when it comes. Wow, that was like super like dramatic. Discuss everything, but whatever, you know what I mean. We're gonna talk about relationships. There we go.
Hi guys, my name's Mimi. Welcome to Mimi, my mental health channel. Today I have Asma, my bestie from Cali. She's back out here, and I have Desi over here. She used to be my coworker from Medster Montgomery Medical Center.
So y'all do mental
health.
health.
Yes, my good friend. Yes. So today we're gonna be talking about mental health and how it affects relationships as well as Black communities.
All right. Let's get into it. You go first. You pick a question first.
We're going to pick out questions from...
I almost want to talk about the food. We didn't even talk about the food that I need.
But it has nothing to do with mental health.
But I cooked this good food. And
Let's talk about this food.
So I made this yummy food. I made some crab cake.
Yes, she did.
Some salmon,
Too bad I
mashed
can't have
potatoes,
them.
and broccoli.
We're going to eat for you guys.
Asma's
Yes.
plate looks better for you to see.
Guys, don't
I'm
judge.
eating
I
like a
will eat
rabbit.
all of them. I live in LA and I still don't care.
So
I
basically,
still eat like I'm in Maryland. Which I am. Oh, guys, by the way, I came home for the week, so that's fun.
yay.
Yeah.
So basically what we're going to do, we're going to read some questions that we all came up with from here. And it's different perspectives. It's like from one end of the spectrum to the other and a middle ground in the questions. But it's relatable to each and every one of our YouTube channels. But I'll have Desi start it off.
I'm starting?
Yes, you're starting.
Okay.
Let's jump right into it.
So what we're doing, I don't want to talk over your style.
You're fine.
We can put it on this side. I don't mind yelling and spitting into a drink.
Yeah, I'll be...
I'm joking.
I guess the first one is ignoring red flags.
Ooh, let's go into the deep end. Let's
So
dive
I
in.
guess we're going to talk about red flags that we notice at the beginning of relationships, but we continue to go on with that relationship because we so desperate for a relationship. I mean, that's the bottom line. Because if we were in that
harsher
desperate,
terms,
yeah, it is. If we weren't desperate, then we would have said bye-bye.
Yeah.
To the
When you
curb.
have room to be like, okay, like next. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
So we asked my dad this question earlier. He doesn't want to be in the video at all, but we asked him, so what was the question, Ashma? Because Ashma asked the question.
The question that I had asked Miata's dad was that, what advice would you give to women, but I guess also men out there who don't have like that fatherly figure in their life to be like, you know what, this person, you know, is not for you. As a man, I feel like he knows men, and as women, we can sit and talk about men all day long, but we need a male's perspective as well to really get the full scope of things.
Right.
And so I'm like, what advice would you give to young girls who may not have their fathers there to like vet these men out and be like, no, he's trash. Okay, he's good. Hold on to him. And he basically had explained that taking things at face value is important. You know, if somebody says something, listen to them, observe them, and also don't ignore red flags. You know what I mean? And so to take it back to this statement about ignoring red flags, it's like I feel like no, I'm not even gonna say I feel like as women. I know me personally. Excuse me. Any guy that I've like dated and things didn't end up well, it wasn't like I was so shocked because I really thought things were gonna work out. You know, there were signs in the beginning that I'm like, ooh, this guy is trouble, but I don't care because he's cute. So I'm just gonna like keep moving forward, and then things end up going exactly the way that I think.
And he was
they're gonna
basically
go.
saying that a lot of us enter relationships for superficial reasons. So it's what we see in the outside or the idea of what we think it will be like in a sense, but the person's already telling you straight up once they see you like,
this is what
I'm about, you know, but we just don't want to listen to it. And I'm talking about from like the male and female perspective as well in it.
Basically, we're falling in love with someone's potential rather than who they are.
That
That's
is
what it
true.
is.
But sometimes even someone's potential can turn into something. That happens. I feel like everyone.
But
That
we need to
happens,
stop
but it's
doing
not,
that.
it's not more.
Different, though.
We need to stop
it's
doing that.
more
Mm-mm.
true that the opposite happens, that they actually
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
end up to be where it is that you thought. it
If
would
you
be.
don't like them where they are right now, deuces, okay? No, that's how it's supposed to be. It is. If you don't like them where they are right now, let it go. Unless you're in 2021 because he's still in the growing phase of, yourself, and he's also in the growing
That
phase.
is true. That is
But
true. That's
I
what
don't
was
agree with young dating anyway, so.
You don't agree with young
Go
dating.
into that.
What is young dating? Do you
I don't think that anybody should be getting married in their 20s.
Why?
I just think that you have life to live. You have a
I
lot
can
of
see
life
where
to
you're
live.
coming
You
from
can
with
grow
that.
so much. And I'm 33 right now. So me from 25 to 33 is a whole different person, you know? And we grow so much and you learn so much in your 30s. So I do not agree with somebody getting married. I think women, and I hate stereotyping, but I do feel that women, we mature a lot faster. So
That
I
is
even say for
true.
women, maybe like 28, 20s, late 20s. It's okay for men. I don't agree with men getting married.
But I kind of disagree with that because I went to a wedding and I saw this guy. He was 26 years old. He said he used to be in the NFL and then he had, left all of that. He was enjoying it and everything like that. But at the time, he was not happy. He met a really good woman, but he realized it wasn't bringing him joy. So he left the NFL and literally came back for the woman in a sense. And he's 26 and he married the woman. Okay, and now he's doing something completely different that's more satisfying to his life. So I feel like it could be different. Each relationship is different.
I'll see how he.
Every
How old
person's
is he? How old
different.
is he now?
He's 26.
Okay, we'll see. Let's talk to him when he's 33. That's just my opinion. You have a lot of life to live. I'm sorry. I don't agree with anybody getting
But there are
married.
Do you
Some
believe
people
you can
get
live
married
it
when they're 16
together though?
to
Do you
60.
feel like it's a hindrance to still live your life but with somebody else beside you?
Wait, what? Rewind.
You can still live your life with somebody else beside you.
Yeah,
you don't have
you
to.
can.
I mean, yes, but who says you guys is gonna grow in the same? I mean, where I was at 26, if I was with the same guy that I was with at the time, we'd not have been together now.
Yeah.
Like I'm that different, and that's just speaking from a lot of all my friends are in their 30s, and I'm speaking from being around women who's. Oh, let me look at the camera. Hey, you guys. Yeah, being around women who's like in their 30s and 40s, like who we were in our 20s is a whole.
Different ballgame.
It's a whole different ballgame.
But then
I'm a whole
again,
different person.
When you say you're talking about numbers though, but people reach maturity at different ages.
It's not
So
even
you could
maturity.
be-
It's about
It's about experience. or what?
experiences.
But some
and-
people
what if
can
you live a
experience
lot?
things
I've
early.
I've lived a lot.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of fun between the ages of 17
That's what I'm saying.
to 21.
it's not,
I had stopped drinking at like 22, like 23, because I'm like, I've
You
done
did it all.
I've done it. It's like you live and you get tired, you get exhausted. As far as me wanting to settle down, I know there's nothing out there. I really don't. I mean, I really
Because
do.
you've experienced
Because
it.
I've dated. I've experienced it. It's not like I've dated every man in the world, but I know that I personally don't get joy out of superfluous dating. You know what I mean? I personally.
right. I get what you're saying.
So it's like, as far as like me being able to live my life, I feel like that's why it's important to find somebody that you're compatible with and that you can go on this journey with, because it's not everybody that's going to be able to grow at the same pace as you. But I feel like if you guys have the same moral compass, same values, same goals, yes, you're going to grow and do different things, but you'll grow at the same rate and you can do it together. But that requires having somebody who's healthy,
That is
mentally
true.
healthy, because
That
if
is
you're
true.
dating somebody who's insecure, not confident in themselves, they're gonna hold you back from living your best life, you know, and not in the sense it's like, oh, let's do ratchet stuff, but like, no, becoming the best version of yourself.
Exactly.
You can only do that with another person if they're healthy
Right.
and they have
And the
their
thing
own life.
is, with mental health, everybody has mental health, and I feel like a lot of people want to be like, oh, well, this person's crazy, this person's
but
mental,
you don't look at
but
yourself.
everybody has mental
Yeah.
health. The only thing is, if you have that equilibrium, or if you understand how to reach that equilibrium, then you are having a healthy life in a sense. You're mentally healthy. So for some people, it's just like they don't have that equilibrium, or they don't know how to get to that, and that's where it becomes toxic and it's not good.
And I feel like that comes with experiences as well.
That is
Because
true.
honestly, the way you're talking right now, that was me in my 20 when I was 26. You know,
You're
I wasn't.
right. We
that
don't
was,
know your
that was me. I thought that I was ready for marriage. I thought I was ready to have kids. And looking at me now, and looking at me when I'm 26, when I was 26, I said the same things. And I'm like, everybody's different, so I can only speak for myself. But even I'm like the therapist of all my friends, right? And the stories that I hear, from somebody in their 26 and who's, majority of my friends are Christian. I'm probably the only one that's not. they're totally different, you know, in their 30s. So that's why I just see a huge change in the progression in somebody from 26 to 30. And
What's some of the biggest
Yeah.
changes
You're
that you
right.
think you see?
your mindset, what you think you want is really not what you want. Experiences of life, you know, you can spot an asshole. Oh, excuse me.
Girl cuss.
Oh, sorry.
Speak your
You're
mind.
fine.
You can spot an asshole from a mile away. I know I can. I don't think I can be fooled by him anyway.
Yeah.
So
You're like, I know this trick.
yeah, I know.
this game,
I
it's
know
not
it
about
all.
work.
I know. I really do. And then a lot of self-love and a lot of sometimes you feel like you love yourself, but you really don't. A lot of things, you allow yourself to go through certain things. And you, like, I don't feel like, that's another topic.
Like
We're
for
going
me,
off
I
topic
feel like
a
it's like a cultural difference in a sense because the culture that I grew up in, because I'm Sierra Leonean, you know, like I feel like our culture is once you are in something serious, regardless of whatever is going on, you work together to make it work. You know, it's like a give and take type of thing. It's like nothing that's going on in the outside is going to come in between what is there. But I feel like the culture in America or this new day and age culture, people just don't care anymore. Oh, right now I'm just not feeling happy, so I'm done, you know?
It's just a
And then
lack
the
of
next minute it's
commitment.
like, oh, I was so happy with this. But in reality, it's very toxic. So it's like...
I think it's important to be in a healthy relationship.
Yes.
And you
It
can
needs
only
to
do
be
that
healthy.
if you're a healthy person.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yes, of course. So, as far as culture, I mean, my family's from Haiti, but I really think I've kind of steered away from all that stuff and build my own self, my own individual self. Like I don't consider, yes, I am Haitian, but I have my own culture. Like I don't follow anybody. I do things the way I want to do it. You know, so I feel like a lot of people use culture. I feel like it's so important for you to just be an individual. You know, I don't follow family traditions like I used to. You know, I used to do all that stuff, but it's not me. It's just what I grew up in, and that's not my fault. I didn't ask to be born in this family. You know, so that's just my perspective of it.
It's so weird. I feel like I'm more of, I didn't really want to follow my culture when I was younger, but now it's like I want more of my culture because I realize it's really the center of my life. You know, I want that value in a sense.
Is it because there's something you're just used to?
Not really, because like I was saying, when I was younger, I was fighting it. I didn't want anything to do with it. I was like, ugh, you know, like I just want to do my own thing. I remember even like the basic thing, like the foods we eat. My dad and I would argue over the foods we eat. Like, I want variety. I'm tired of eating rice and soup. I want
tired of eating
something
rice every
different. I
day.
want some spaghetti. I want American food. And he's just looking at me like, okay. And eventually he was like, okay, fine. You cook what you want on your days. And, you know, we're going to have this food or whatever. But now as I'm older, I'm like, no, I want my African food.
Right.
You know, I'm craving it. I want to know how to make this. I want to know how to make that. You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. It changes. Okay, one more question.
We got a lot of
Give
more
me one more
questions.
question.
Well, a different question.
Okay.
Yeah.
But did we even get to the bottom of this?
Did
What
we?
was it? Ignoring red flags. That's what we were talking about.
Was it? Because
Yeah, me too. I was like,
It was like, was it?
so,
What's your most important takeaway about red flags? I think we'll go down the line. Like,
why don't y'all
what's-
start and I'll go last?
My most important takeaway about red flags is not ignoring them. But you had said something earlier about like people ignore red flags because they're desperate. And I think not being afraid to walk away from something that you see may not be a good idea. And it's like I recently, for the first time, actually did not ignore red flags. You know, it's like there's a guy who I was interested in, like, you know, like just good looking, all these things that I think that I want. But they weren't ready to move at the same pace, or maybe didn't want the same things, and also did things that, and an ex of mine that I did, and I just didn't like. You know, like I had seen something on their profile that took me right back to my old relationship. You know, and I'm like, you know what? If I wanted to be in something familiar, I could just stay in the same situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so I actually chose not to move forward with this guy.
Yeah,
You know,
that's good.
and I really liked him, but I was just like, you know what? I know that this is not what
Not
it
the
is that I
relationship for
want.
you.
It's not the pace that I want. And although I think you're amazing, I think you're dope, I'm actually going to go ahead and excuse myself. And I had never done that before. And I think I've been able to do that now because I'm content in being single. I don't mind being single. I don't mind my own company. I enjoy my own company to the point that if what you bring to the table is not what it is that I'm looking for, I can bypass that because I know what it is that I'm looking for. When you go shopping, you don't buy the first shirt that you see. You went there to get something. And if it's not that, then
You
don't
see my
buy
post
it.
about that. It was like, I'm trying to remember what it said, but it said basically like dating. If you're dating someone with not the intent of marrying, it's like going to the grocery store and you
I
don't have
posted
any
that.
money. Oh yes.
I was the one that posted that. It's like going to the
Yes, that
grocery
one.
store with no money, or you end up leaving with something that's not yours, something along those lines. But it's like I know when I go out to eat at restaurants, if they bring me my food and it's not the way that I like it, I send it back. Why am I not like that with somebody that I'm trying to spend the rest of my life with? You know, you don't have to be rude, you don't have to be nasty to people, but I know what it is that I'm looking for, and if it's not that, I'm not going to settle for, well, it's good enough. Because no, we're about to do a life sentence together. Good enough is not going to work.
So do you mean, are you looking for somebody perfect?
I'm
I
not
was just
looking.
about to get
I'm
into
not
that.
looking for somebody
Yeah,
perfect
I was
because
just about
I'm
to
not
say that.
perfect.
Okay.
I'm not looking for a perfect person. I'm looking for somebody that is well suited to me
Okay.
and my
Okay.
Similar
imperfections.
morals and all that stuff.
Morality. I'm looking for somebody who, first of all, values their relationship with Jesus as much as I do, because that's the most important thing to me. And if we don't have that in common, you're gonna get sick of me very, very quickly. You can only look at my face and my body, but for so long.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like,
Yeah.
first, where are you at morally, or where are you at in your career? I'm not looking for anybody perfect because I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be, and I let you guys know that I'm not, so that you don't try to put me up on that pedestal, because I have issues. And I know I'm gonna have somebody that has issues, but let's have the same type of issues so we can work them out together. I don't want you
Same
bringing-
type?
Yeah, same
How?
type. Why not?
How?
Like,
I mean, you guys are both from different upbringings, different family.
same type of issues in a way. Maybe, let me see, what are my issues?
You know what? I think everyone has issues.
Everyone
So,
has issues.
I feel like being in a healthy relationship
That's what you wanna
and
deal with.
somebody who's willing to, first
Work
of
with
all, realize they have an issue and willing to work on it. And if they're not, you need to let that go.
I think that's what it is. I feel like not even the same type of issues, but I feel like I have done my work and I'm doing my
Yes.
work. I don't want to date somebody who's not doing their work
Exactly.
and then wants me to come in and do their work for them.
Okay, that's
that I
good.
won't do.
Okay.
I won't do
Because
that.
it's a give and take for
Yeah,
relationships.
we can do it together, but don't come to the table with issues thinking that you have none and expecting me to solve them.
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Yeah,
Because I'm very busy with my own issues.
Yeah. And they need to recognize, okay, I have a problem. I need to go
Right.
help.
And if you're actively working on that, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what?
Exactly. Those kind of people you want to be with. You know?
Very true.
Healthy.
Exactly. It's all about
Healthy.
healthy and looking for growth and looking to better themselves.
Yeah. And so, your takeaway for
I guess
red
for
flags.
me, ignoring red flags, it basically when you meet somebody, as soon as you meet them, you're already gonna see like different aspects of who they really are, and if you see that, believe it. It's not a lie, and eventually
Ooh, girl.
you need to get away from that in a sense. That's my take on it.
My take is action speaks louder than words. You remember that old saying? It really does. So whatever they say,
It's true.
don't pay attention
Believe
to it.
what people do, not what they say.
Exactly.
Oh,
'Cause
don't.
talk is cheap.
Mm.
It really is.
That is so true. It's so simple, but it's like so true.
It is.
And
It's-
it goes down
We
to
have
what
so
your
many
dad said
questions.
about,
We
you
need
know,
to
like face
answer
value. Okay, we're going to move on to the next question,
Even if
but
we
don't
don't get
ignore
all
red
of them,
flags.
but at least we get a good
Oh,
one.
yeah, we're not going to make all of them.
Oh, there's some really good ones in here.
Okay, let's go.
Unless we're going to do like a speed round.
Okay.
Like each of us answers one.
Okay. How toxic relationships affect your mental health?
And
What do you guys
Well,
have to say to that?
the way my toxic relationships affected my mental health is they really distorted my self-image of myself. How that person saw me began to be how I saw myself.
Ooh, I like that.
Like if somebody would come into my life and tell me I was selfish, I'd be like,
I am.
well,
selfish.
yeah, you're right. I am kind of selfish. No, somebody will come in my life and tell me, oh, you're too friendly. I'm like, well, yeah, you're right. I am kind of friendly. And I think what I've learned from that is that if you don't know who you are, anybody can walk in your life and tell you who you are and you'll just accept it. Versus being like, well, now I'm like, well, that's your experience with me. You've experienced me as a selfish person, but that's not me as a whole. There's people who experience me in a different way. So I think having being in a toxic relationship has taught me to have a strong grasp of who it is that I am, so that when somebody leaves, they can't take whatever I thought I was with them or come in and tell me who I am, because I already know.
yeah.
I like that. I agree with everything you say.
I mean, you basically said it.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think of how toxic.
And it doesn't necessarily only have to do with boyfriend girlfriend type of relationships. It could be friends too.
Yeah,
As
friendship
Because sometimes
and
you have
family.
somebody
And family.
family.
Mm-hmm.
You can
That's
have
a good
people
one.
around you, and you realize that you're always giving so much to them.
Mm-hmm.
And by the end, if you're feeling like crap after you're done talking to somebody, or feeling like crap when you're done interacting with somebody, you feel exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. That means you shouldn't have that person around. If constantly that is happening, you know, every time you talk to this person, you're just sitting there, just there to solve their problem or to fix their issues, you know, and or whatever they're going through.
I just think in relationships period, it's important for you to know that you're first. You know, take care of yourself first, and don't, like you said, don't let anybody tell you who you are. You know who you are, and until you know who you are, that's when I don't agree with.
You ain't got no business.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Being in relationships, and that's why I go with age too. You don't know who you are when you're 20. You don't. You don't. I mean, because you're young.
I think it has to do with maturity again. Like, I feel like you can know who you are when you're in your 20s.
No, you
because
no,
there's
I'm
some
talking about
people,
early 20s, not late.
Yes, you can, because there's some people who are in their teens or whatever, you know, and they've experienced so much in their lives, you know, when they turn 19.
Or women
They
in their
already have an
40s
idea
who
of
were
who they
very
are.
immature.
I know that.
They're like,
There
yeah,
are women in their 40s that act like they're still high school. When I watch the Real
Oh, yeah.
Housewives of anything, I'm like, how old are these women?
Right.
You know, like
Yeah.
they literally act like children sometimes.
I think experiences for me, and you think you experience a lot when you're 19, but there's so much more for you to
That is
experience.
true.
There is. I thought I knew
There's
a lot at
so
17.
much more,
That is
and y'all gonna look back when y'all turn 30 and remember what I said.
I know.
And
And
you're
I know
gonna,
I am.
you will.
Even
I
as you're
remember
talking,
some
I'm
of
like,
the
I'm gonna
things
remember this.
You guys are saying at work in regards to like school and stuff like that. I remember I was like, oh, I'm so stressed. And you guys start laughing at me. You're like, what are you stressed about? Are you paying bills?
Exactly.
So if you quit this job, you have somewhere to live, right?
Yeah,
and so I was
yeah,
looking at you
yeah.
guys like, I love haters, whatever,
Right.
you know. And now as I'm getting, I'm like, oh, that's what they meant.
And that's growth.
Oh
You
my
didn't have that when you were
gosh.
19.
Yeah.
No matter, I was a very mature person. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, I never, like, when you talk about toxic relationships, I've always been the one that dismissed myself from a toxic relationship. So I never let anybody define me. And that's been since I was a young girl. You know, I've always been that headstrong person. So even with that, me being that at 13 years old, 19 years old, I thought I was ready for marriage. I thought I was ready for a relationship. Me at 33 right now is still learning myself. And I'm not trying to say learning yourself is
Yeah, it's gonna be a lifelong thing.
Exactly.
Till you die.
You're gonna be doing it forever. But I feel like now I'm in a better place. You know, I know who I am. I had a lot of experiences. I had heartbreak, and I had so much, and I didn't have that at 19.
Could I make the argument that being a person of faith expedites that time that you would need to get to know yourself? Because when your identity is rooted in Christ, I'm no longer searching for who I am. I know who I am now,
Yeah.
and that's rooted in my faith. You know, it's not the journey that I'm going on is going to be a lifelong journey with me going to God for Him to tell me, who did you create me to be? I'm not having to curate myself, and trusting that God's going to pair me with somebody who's going to walk with me to accomplish what it is that He accomplished for me to make. And so when it comes to dating, like, I feel like although like I'm young, I'm in my 20s, although I feel like I do need more time, I'm not like ready to get married like tomorrow. But if I do date, it's going to be with the intent of marriage, and just trusting that because I've placed my faith in God, He's going to pair me with somebody who's going to be able to walk alongside me in that journey. You know what I mean? So it's like I've already arrived at who I am. You know, my identity is rooted in Jesus Christ, and I'm firm in that. You know, it's like I'm solid in that. You know what I mean? And so like, I don't know. I feel like, yeah, that one decision just kind of like is.
I think it also depends on your moral
Yeah.
compass in a sense, because
I think
I know from when we were growing up, from when we were in college.
But we were growing up.
Yeah.
But we grew up since then, so
when
we went to college together. So she knew me when I was just ratchet, no Christian.
When we were in college, I remember when you'd make certain decisions, you'd always turn and be like, Miata, you know, I didn't feel good about that. I didn't like that. You know, so in a sense, by you living in your truth, that's what made you feel like I am who I am.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you're going against what your inner self is saying,
It's
this
saying,
is not
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Why am I doing this? Why am I making these decisions? That's what brings more chaos within you.
And I mean, yeah, and the way that I understand that is just as it's like being a congruent person. I've always been a person of faith internally, but you can never
Yeah.
look at my life and see that.
Yeah.
I've always had this relationship with God that you cannot see by the way
Yeah.
that I act, by the way I interact with people, and because of that, things weren't lining up for me. I do whatever I wanted. The next minute, go behind closed doors and pray, and just doing all this stuff that I'm like, my life isn't lining up. Let me just
Yeah.
stop playing around and be who I know that I am inside, outside. You know, and so like I guess as far as getting to know myself, I feel like because I know how to be congruent now. That's who I am, and no matter what experience I have in life, I'm just gonna be a congruent person. You know that if I'm thinking it, I'm gonna say
You're
it.
gonna do it.
And I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it, and if I'm around you acting a certain way, that you can trust that
is
that's
me.
how I feel about
Yeah.
you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, although I'm definitely, I thought I knew everything when I was 19. I really did. I thought I
Me
was
too.
super, super mature.
I do.
And I look back now and know that I wasn't, but I also was not rooted in my faith, you know. And so I know right now, like, I'm gonna look back on this conversation and remember the things that you said, and I'm actually very
Yeah.
much so looking forward to being 30
Yeah.
because
Yeah,
I feel
don't
like
rush
it's
it,
just
girl.
gonna be so
She said
fire.
don't
Don't
rush
rush
it.
I mean, I'm not in a rush because 27 is just like knocking at the door,
Right.
but it's not something that I dread.
Yeah.
You know what I
It,
mean?
I think being 30 is the most beautiful time of my life.
Really,
It has.
speak on it, sus.
It has. But I want to go back to what you were saying about your faith, but I also feel, and I'm not Christian by the way, but I still feel like yes, God is gonna bring the right person, but speaking in your way, devil's gonna bring the wrong person.
Oh, yeah.
and you're still gonna have to.
But
You're
that's
still gonna have to
fight it.
fight your battle.
Yeah.
You are.
You know, whether you're Christian or not. I mean, I still
even
feel
God
like
sometimes sends someone that's not for you to test you in a sense.
right.
Yeah.
So I just feel like regardless whether I don't go to church and I don't do all the Christian stuff, but I still feel like we still have the same battles.
Yeah.
We just have a different perspective and outlook on it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I feel like we have the same battles, but in a way, it's like I have somebody who has a whole view of the whole thing on my side, so I feel that much more safe to go ahead and choose one person and stay with them.
And I have that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on one second, guys. Pause.